baseball fans, Ryan here. Hope all you guys are having a wonderful week so far and a great hump day and Wednesday. And might I say, happy Wednesday, happy hump day, happy almost Friday, happy Thursday Eve, happy almost weekend vibes. But most importantly, guys, welcome back to the channel of Main Event Baseball with Ryan. All right, guys, in today's episode, we are going to talk about what was discussed and announced by MLB yesterday between Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe Jackson. We are going to go into the story on why Joe Jackson got the name Shoeless Joe Jackson and exactly why he was banned from being in the MLB Hall of Fame until that announcement was made yesterday. And then we are also going to talk about some breaking news regarding Rich Hill. But before we can get into these two things, guys, we have some breaking news out of Boise Hawks baseball 2023. Boise Hawks left-handed pitcher Matt Volker has officially announced his retirement from baseball. Again, you heard me say 2023. That was the year Matt Volker was in Boise for the Boise Hawks. He was the opening day the home opener starter for the Hawks that year when we took on the Idaho Falls Chuckers. Anywho, guys, Matt Volker with the Boise Hawks had a 7-5 record, 7 wins, 5 losses with a 6.78 ERA. That would be his only time with the Boise Hawks and his only time in the Pioneer Independent Baseball League. So on behalf of myself, my YouTube team, my mom, my family, and Boise Hawks, congratulations, Matt Volker, on your retirement, man. Love you, miss you. I hope you enjoyed the video. All right, guys, so now we get into the breaking news announcement that was made by MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred from yesterday. There are 2 big names that were banned from the MLB Hall of Fame, Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe Jackson. Both of them have passed away. And as of yesterday, those 2 men and some other players have been removed from the banned list in the MLB Hall of Fame. Therefore, Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe Jackson and the others aren't eligible to make the MLB Hall of Fame. Of course, they would not be eligible for this year or next year's ballot. But we all know the story behind Pete Rose and what he did. Fun fact, I've actually met Pete Rose. I met him when I was 7 years old. I was a cute little baseball kid at that time, and he was an old man. But yeah, we're going to get into Shoeless Joe Jackson. So Shoeless Joe Jackson, guys, played baseball before my mom was born, of course, before I was even existed, and before YouTube even existed. But the reason he was named Shoeless Joe Jackson, it's actually an interesting story. It goes down to a baseball fan actually nicknamed Joe Jackson Shoeless Joe Jackson because he would buy a pair of cleats with spikes on them, and he would not feel comfortable, like his feet hurt a lot, and they gave him blisters playing in the field. So what he would do is when he went to play in the infield, he would take his shoes off and go play with his socks on. And a fan saw that and actually gave him the name Shoeless Joe Jackson. Believe it or not, if you have ever seen the movie Field of Dreams, that in the beginning of that movie, they actually talk about Shoeless Joe Jackson and why he was banned from the MLB Hall of Fame, which brings me to the story on why Shoeless Joe Jackson was put in the list of the Hall of Fame, from being banned into the MLB Hall of Fame. It came down to very simple, guys. He did make bets and all that. He did not, him and some other teammates were never officially charged, but they were actually put on the banned list from ever being put into the MLB Hall of Fame. And of course, after 60 years, yes, guys, after over 60 years of being put on that list, Shoeless Joe Jackson, Pete Rose, and 10 other players who have been on that list for all that time have been reinstated off that list, and they are now eligible to be a future MLB Hall of Famer. So now that I talk about this story, I want to get your thoughts on this, especially Pete Rose. But yeah, guys, very interesting concept came out yesterday. I don't know if you watched yesterday's video, but a Boise Hawk player for this season, Javier Ramos, shout out Javier, he's the one that told me all of this. Of course, it's been on ESPN, MLB, CNN, NBC News, and all of that. But I do want to get your thoughts on not Shoeless Joe Jackson, but what are your thoughts of Pete Rose? Because I'm not going to give you my opinion, but my mom has talked to me, and it literally seems like every single year my mom and I are having this conversation at the dinner table about Pete Rose. But yeah, I mean, Pete Rose, of course, passed away this past September, and he is now eligible to be a on the MLB Hall of Fame. He would have to receive a 75% vote by people that are actually in charge of putting people on the ballot for him to make the Hall of Fame. So it could be a 2-3 year period before Pete Rose even is eligible to be on the ballot for the MLB Hall of Fame. I know a lot of you guys actually believe that Pete Rose deserves to be in the MLB Hall of Fame. Let me be honest, guys. Pete Rose did not bet against his team. He did not bet against his teammate. He basically betted on himself and got caught. And he actually admitted on live TV in an NBC report over 20 years ago that he did participate in betting in the game of Major League Baseball. So I do want to get your thoughts on this, but some of you don't know the story behind Shoeless Joe Jackson. Again, guys, he bet and all that. He was bribing. He was doing betting and bribes and he eventually got caught. Again, Joe Jackson, or Shoeless Joe Jackson, should I say, never faced any charges for the incident. But the reason he is called Shoeless Joe Jackson is because when he went to play in the infield, he would play in his socks and not his shoes or cleats. And literally, that is how he got the name Shoeless Joe Jackson. Again, they talk a lot about him in the movie A Field of Dreams, which is a great movie. Shoeless Joe Jackson, guys, never had an at-bat in his socks. He wore his cleats or his spikes when he was batting, but when he took the field, he would not be wearing shoes or socks. And that is how he got the name Shoeless Joe Jackson. Very interesting story, by the way. I actually wanted to know the story on how he got that before I did the episode. And so there you go. The whole story on why Joe Jackson was named Shoeless Joe Jackson. All right, guys, now I'm going to talk about another former MLB player and a former Boise Hawk as well, and that would be Rich Hill. Rich Hill, guys, is in his late 40s, his mid to late 40s, and yesterday he was signed to a minor league deal with the Kansas City Royals. Now, this is the 17th MLB organization Rich Hill has been a part of. However, if he makes it to the big leagues this year with the Kansas City Royals. He would tie Edwin Jackson for being able to play in 17 different MLB teams in his career. Rich Hill has not been in MLB in 2 or 3 years as a player. The last time he was, again, was about 2 or 3 years ago when he was playing for the Boston Red Sox. All right, guys, before I end the video, again, congratulations to former Boise Hawk, Matt Volker, on his retirement. Matt, I love you. I miss you, buddy. Thank you for being such a awesome and crazy and great host, brother. I have a story on Matt Volker about me and him and all that. If you want to hear that story, please let me know down below in the comment section. If not, if you're watching this video, you already know the story. So maybe you could reach out to him and he'll tell you the story. But there's a story between me and Matt Volker that is very unique in baseball and all that. And I would love to share that story with you guys if you guys would like to hear that. All right, guys, that is all I have for you guys on this edition of Main Event Baseball with Ryan. Thank you so much for joining me on this Wednesday and hump day for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did, make sure you hit that thumbs up and that like down below. If you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe as well. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday night, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys right back here tomorrow in the next episode.